friends, welcome to the Creator in Progress podcast. I'm your host, Jamie Lim. Join me on an exciting journey as I break free from the 9-to-5 grind to become a full-time content creator. Each episode will bring you inspiring stories and practical advice from both successful and budding creators and entrepreneurs on how they got to where they are today. My next guest is both an entrepreneur and a fellow creator. Renee's expertise lies in video, and no surprises there because she owns her own production business called PeachyPixx, which has recently just turned 10. Their mission is to empower small business owners with video content support for their businesses. Renee is a fellow YouTuber, but not only that, she creates on all sorts of platforms. She writes on Medium, and she also creates Reels and TikToks, all the while juggling her business. More and more, we see the importance of the role of video and social media and the impact it can have on a business. So I think it's even cooler that Renee has a course on mentoring folks on starting their own YouTube channel. Since we're both in the educational content creator space, I could personally relate to most of the challenges that Renee was facing, and it was great being able to speak and learn from her. Enjoy the conversation. This episode is co-produced by Scape. Before we dive into the questions I have for you, how do you believe that your experiences in your early years have influenced your current path and, fueled your passion for what you currently do?
That's a very deep question that you asked me. So I guess it's really more of I first started. I don't know. Should I actually start from the beginning where
When you were a baby, yes.
not really a baby, but I was from a 9-to-5 job. I think you kind of can be able to relate to it. I was from a 9-to-5 job. I fired my boss, and then I jumped into running a business without any kind of knowledge of running a business. And it's really starting from scratch, really a lot of trial and errors. And there's a lot of course, there's a lot of ups and downs and trying to build the business itself. But I guess it's really the perseverance and the hard-headed, really making sure that I don't want to go back to that 9-to-5 job. It's kind of like these are some of the areas that I really make sure that I am in so that I can move forward with the business.
So diving back right into that, why did you want to leave the 9-to-5? What were you doing and why did you want to leave?
Oh, I was in the IT industry. So I was working for 7 years in the IT industry. And I just decided, like one fine day, I don't want to work for anyone. I just want to do something else. So it's really a jump first, swim later kind of situation. I do not have any savings. Sometimes they always tell you that you need to have 6 months savings to make sure that you can run your everyday lives and stuff like that. But I don't have any of that. So I just start the business and I don't even have plans. Like now we learn how to do business plans, business goals. So I didn't have all that. I just I had a passion in videography, and there's one time a friend of mine said that she needed like a corporate videos and said that I'm willing to pay you. So it's like, okay, this is my sign to fire my boss and I just follow whatever I want to do, which is actually the passion for videography. And I learned from there. It's really about pivoting along the way without any really like a concrete business plan, where a lot of people actually nowadays, of course, need to have in that sense.
Wow. How do you... I don't know how I would be able to make that jump. I think I could relate in the sense that I was also working in the corporate world for a fair bit of time.
Yep.
And I also wanted to make that jump, but I think I took 4 years to make that jump because it's always that balance between this is a stable income, this is the money I can get, and to be able to jump into something completely different from what I knew. It's so scary. So how did you gather up that courage to just be like, Titanic it away, jump first, swim later? I like that.
I think I was young back then. I was only, not so young. I'm about 27, I guess. So it's really right before I got married that I fire my boss and trying to go into the business. And I was telling myself, okay, maybe I just give myself 6 months and see how it goes. And thank God, I think universe has been great. God has been great. Really, 6 months. I thought of 6 months. Now I'm already in the 10 year of business. So I guess it's really a lot of very much of like I said just now, is hard headed. I'm very stubborn in that sense. I just want to go forward. I don't really accept defeat or accept failure. Of course, there are a lot of certain things that you fail in the business. I'm not able to do this. I fail in partnerships. I failed in collaborators and stuff like that. But these are some of the areas that I learned along the way on how to be a better leader. I learned how to be a better communicator towards my collaborators, partners, or even team members. Yeah, so there's a lot of things that went on for the first, especially for the first 3 years, because I think that's the most challenging period of any business. The first three years is your trial period, I must say. Yeah.
Yeah, I gave myself 6 months to 1 year. And
Yeah.
it's not enough. But I'm like, oh, I need the. So now I'm trying to find like a freelancer kind of job also to make sure I just have the money to sustain.
Yeah.
I guess the lifestyle, but also kind of continue to do what I love doing also. And yeah, it's tough lah. So I'm really trying to kind of like find that balance also lah. And anyway, I know you know I wrote here like congrats. I know that PeachyPixx just celebrated its 10th birthday lah. So really wanted to know how and why did you decide to start it anyway?
For the whole business itself, why I start the video business is because of passion, one. And then I grew a team. The first 3 years, I had a team of 6 and I led a female team. But things happens along the way. Like I said just now, I think that 3 years is the period where I really learned how to become a better leader, a better communicator. I know how to, in that 3 years, basically is a trial period for me to see whether I can work together with people. And I'm very introvert actually. So it's really difficult for me to communicate with people, and I really get drained with a lot of people when I do a lot of communication. So in terms of like growing the business itself, from a team of 6 and life happens and there's a lot of like my team members have to break away from me because of commitments. They have to go back to 9 to 5 job. So then after that, I grow and I pivot my business into one women team, but having like a team members, collaborators where I can partner around with all the video project that I have. Yeah, so I kind of like pivot from as a videographer to a video producer. Yes.
So straight away when you went in, you already were like, I'm gonna hire a team to jumpstart the business.
Not really. It happens by chance. So it was actually the two of us. So we were actually doing video and photo. And then it became like a team. We handled the media in the sense that we did the creative part as well. And then we did events. We did live streams. There's a lot of things that we did back then. So we even have like a very ambitious office space, a studio space. Yeah, and I guess it's not something that I see as a failure, but it's really a learning curve for me on now I know how to manage a studio if I happen to have one later on, if I do want to have it. And I know how to manage people if I do want to have it. But I think now also in a sense that I still manage people because of all the team members that I have, the part-timers, the interns, and the other videographers or editors that I have. Yeah. So it's really more of building the business itself.
I think that's very interesting. You even have interns.
Yeah, back then, yes.
That's so cool. So I actually hired a team for this podcast also. Yep. It's the first time I've hired a team. Generally, I'm like a one-woman team also. Like I used to do it for all my content and stuff. And I think coming into this, hiring a team, wow, it's just so eye-opening
Yeah.
because suddenly I finish the production side of things, and then I send it to my editor, and it's like magic. The video is done, and it's done so well. You know,
Yes.
was just so impressed. And I also have an all-girl team.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was like, yes, girl power, and they are all they're all freelancers as well. So it's quite nice lah. Like we're able to have the same vision, the same
Yep.
goal, and most importantly, I can kind of vibe with them also.
Yeah.
And I'm also learning how to be a better leader, I think, with them because, like you mentioned, I'm also an introvert. So, figuring out how to delegate tasks to
Yes.
them, to tell them when, that sort of thing.
Yeah.
So I think the first time I met them, my video editor is based in Paris. She's Singaporean, but I'm like, it's okay. The time difference matter.
Yeah.
Just as long as it's done. You know, if you have any problems, just give me a heads up in advance.
Yeah.
I'm totally cool with it.
Yeah.
You know, and so far it's been great.
Been
I
great.
really, really love them. And yeah, I hope to work with them lah for a long time. But yeah, I think it's been a very interesting experience for me because I never thought I would hire a team this early to help me out with these sort of things. And like I was like, wow, maybe I should do this for my YouTube also.
Yeah.
You know, but it takes that investment. Like
Yes,
you always
true.
have to see it as an investment.
Correct.
I'm putting in money to
Yeah.
help you. But I mean, I don't really dare to do that for a lot of things also because now I'm on my sabbatical, right? I want to be a bit more frugal with stuff. So I think that balance is I guess something that is a good new experience to have lah.
I think I agree with you when you mention about vibes, and it has to really align. I think back then this kind of conversation, alignment, goals, and everything, it was not in place. I really just put trust in everybody, and as an introvert, like you mentioned, it's really pretty tough to delegate. I just feel that will I hurt this person's feelings if I were to delegate this thing to this person? So it's something that I learned along the way to be able to know how to delegate certain things and be firm at what I want it to do, and of course, really sit down with that person to let them know what's the vision, what's the plans of going forward, so that we can vibe. I think the vibe check is something that it's very important for me, even back then. Yeah.
Yeah. Same. I mean, you want to work with people who
Yeah,
you like, and
true.
like it's not every time you talk to them, it's very hard to explain.
Yes,
things to
yes,
them,
yes.
right?
Yeah.
So
Very true.
you know, I wanted to know what were some of the biggest challenges you faced when you were starting out as a freelancer, and how did you overcome them? And additionally to that, right, I know you co-founded the Freelancers Academy. Did it have like something to do to lead to co-founding that freelancing academy?
Okay, when I first started, I think the challenges that I had, I think for every freelancers when they first started, is always maneuvering the business, right? And of course, finances. That's the most important thing. How to grow the business. Like if I were to get stuck, how can I get unstuck? And finances, in a sense that what should I do to get my finances really, really solid, right? In that sense. And how do I overcome it? It's really a lot of networking when I first started. I really had to break my barriers of meeting a lot of people. Being an introvert is like a problem to me. I wouldn't say it's a problem, but it's really takes a lot of courage from my end to go out and meet people. I used to go to networking session and just go to the corner of the food area and just continue eating. but then I learned along the way that okay, I'm going to go into this networking session. I have 5. I always assume that I have like 5 coins. So I'm going to only talk to 5 people until my energy drain out. So I guess the challenges is to really break into the space of being an extrovert instead of going into a networking session and just be quiet at one corner. Yeah. So I think these are some of the areas that I learned along the way. When you are running a business, this really different ball game altogether. Yeah. And as for the TFA, it's also because of the it's also because of my business. Because back then, right, there is no community in terms of the creative side of things. For me, I learn on the go So I learned videography on the go. I learned from YouTube, but there's not like we don't have a community where we can learn from each other, learn how to grow the business, how to manage our finances, how to even network, even like how an introvert can break the barriers to meet people. So that is why we actually started the Freelancers Academy, because we wanted to have all these freelancers a safe space. And being running a business on our own can be very tiring, can bog us down. So it's really more of like a community where we can all learn from each other, upscale our skills. And whether you are just starting out, you are aspiring freelancers, or you are a seasoned freelancers, we all can help with each other.
So, but it's not only for like the area of videography or
No,
like anything,
any
any
freelancing,
freelance.
yeah. So
Okay.
design, even we even have those who are in the product based business, selling their own products. They are all in our community as well. Basically, as long as you are running the business alone, you can be part of our community. Yeah, sure.
I should sign up.
Can.
Yeah, because I can totally resonate.
Yeah.
Like, especially doing YouTube alone.
Yes.
And a lot of my friends are obviously from corporate, right? So sometimes when I explain things to them, they don't quite understand
Yep.
the challenges that I'm going through, or yeah, I think it's even the smallest things, right? Like we were talking about just now, like if I didn't do a Instagram story showing like how big my file size was on my video, you wouldn't have told me that you can actually compress the size from 66 gigs to like what 16 gigs, or like something even smaller than that. But I wouldn't have known that. So I think having that space and that community, I think is important. And
Yep.
yeah, now more and more I find having that community to be
Yeah.
very important. And
Yeah.
even just for like moral support
Yes.
also,
Yep.
it does help to push you along further. And so now I also put in a lot of effort to really be more supportive of like, I guess, people who are freelancers also, because I
Yes.
know how tough it is also.
Yep.
So yeah, okay, I'm gonna go sign up.
Yes, you are always welcome.
Yeah, I'm very excited, honestly. Yeah, I think I actually found one of my team members. I found her on another community that I'm on.
Oh,
Yeah,
nice.
it's called Find the Others, and they are like a bunch of folks who like left their 9 to 5 and they're like navigating through their life and things like that.
Right.
So yeah, by chance I met this person,
Oh, okay.
and like yeah, she's on my team now and she's great.
Find the Others.
Find the Others.
That's a very interesting
Yeah.
name for it.
So it's actually from this guy. He wrote this book. He's called Paul Millett. He wrote The Pathless Path.
Oh,
Yeah.
yesterday I went for I spoke to a guy, Adrian Tan. He spoke about this guy, the pathless path.
Yes.
Yeah, okay, maybe since you are the second person to speak about this book, I shall get the book.
You should.
later.
You should. Yeah. My next video is about like the 5 self-development
Oh, nice.
books that changed my life. This is one of them, because without reading it, without listening to his podcast, he has a podcast also.
Okay.
I probably wouldn't have made this jump also.
Right.
Yeah, so that's why I think like the community bit is just very important.
Yep.
I find it more and more
Yep.
important now.
Yep.
And yeah, they are the people I can ask questions.
Yes.
Right. And they understand. Like even to you, sometimes I'll be like, help. I don't know.
Yes.
And you can answer them. So yes, community is very important.
Yes.
Okay. I think wanted to ask you some, since we're both creators, I really wanted to ask you some questions on that bit. But I guess for you, you started out as an entrepreneur first, right? And
Yes.
then now you're a content creator. So why did you see the need to become a creator and start creating content?
I think it's the start of 2017 is where everybody is talking about personal brand, putting your face in front of the camera, putting your face to the brand. Because previously when I first started, you can just put a logo, you're good to go. You know, people can still hire you even though they don't see you as a person. They only see you when you went in for a meeting with them, and then you get the vibes from there and see whether you can work together. But I think it started in 2017 when a lot of talks about this personal brand. So that's how I started. going in front of the camera, which is very scary. And I started off with IG story. I think about 15 seconds at that point of time. Even 15 seconds is so scary for me. And I really believe that when it's the start of that personal brand era, the importance of putting out content online is how they can actually, your audience can actually relate to you. Whether you are running a business or whether you are running a business big or small, they want to know who is behind that company. They want to hear your voice. They want to hear your story. People kind of like relate to you with your struggles, your pains, your wins. And that is how I slowly started putting out more of my face online. But when it comes to like digital presence or personal brand on its own, I actually started off with LinkedIn. So I write quite a few articles on LinkedIn itself, because even though writing is not my forte, but it's easier because you don't have to speak. Easier to maneuver on LinkedIn because it's more of like job opportunities. You can connect with your potential clients over on LinkedIn. But in terms of putting out my face out there on it started on Instagram and then went into YouTube. At that point of time, I think I was pivoting my business. I slowly toned down my videography, but I do more a lot of producing, where I liaise with clients and then I disseminate my team members to do the video editing and the videography.
I guess now also I feel like you are creating more educational content on YouTube also, right?
Yes.
But you didn't start doing that back then in 2017.
17, I did, but very little. I still had a lot of self-doubt. Like, will people listen to me? I sound how I sound. Our highest critic is actually ourselves, right?
Yes.
So I don't like how I sound. I don't like how I look. It's like really weird to see yourself on camera. So it's that when I started 2017, I was really into just the 1 minute videos on Instagram, and that was already so scary. Yeah. So that was the start of the educational videos that I did on Instagram. And then late 2019 was the start of the YouTube.
So how come you decided to start creating this educational content?
Oh, because my friend, when I was doing the I think I was sharing with her some tutorial videos, and then she was saying that, hey, why don't you create videos for your business? She's in the digital marketing agency, so she hired me to do some of the videos for her. So I did like taught her how to do certain editing, minimal editing. So she even mentioned, she told me that, why don't you share your knowledge on Instagram, just 1 minute videos. So that's how the first started of my educational content.
Then why jump to YouTube also?
This YouTube is also Jump First Simulator. It's the same as how I started my business. Yeah, it's a scary space. I didn't expect to go into YouTube. I think also because this is another friend who encourages me to go into YouTube because of his videos getting traction. And I started in 2019 for YouTube, end of 2019. And at that point of time, if it's in local context, it's still quite relatively new for videos, because we are still a lot of photos, a lot of carousels on Instagram and stuff like that. So videos is still quite new, still trying to figure out how I can help all these business owners to go onto videos. So the YouTube space is where it's easier to reach out to all these business owners who are actually ready to upgrade themselves in their business through videos. So that's how I actually started the YouTube. But no plans also. I got no plans like how many subscribers I should get by which month, what month, how many views. Jump first, swim later.
Yeah, but you're very consistent. You're much more consistent than me.
I had a 1 year hiatus, in the 2021. I had a 1 year hiatus. I stopped creating videos because I told you I didn't have plan, right? So I burn out. I don't know what else to do with my YouTube videos. So I had one year hiatus. I sit back and I sit down and go back into my drawing board. Should I actually still do videos on YouTube, or should I just like forget about it? So then I sit down, I talk to my mentor, and say, yeah, why not? Why not just continue? Make this as a supplement to your business. Because when I first started, I get a lot of projects through my YouTube videos. Yeah, I got a lot of organization coming to me, wanting hired me to teach their organization on videos, because back then videos are still in, right? So they want to catch up. They need to catch up how to create videos for their own company, for their for their students, and so that's how they found my videos on YouTube, and that's how they actually hire me. Yeah. So when all this being back in place on my drawing board, so I guess okay, let's come back. 2022, I came back with better plans, better strategy, I hope, and it's still right now still following diligently on the plan that I had. Yeah.
Yeah. I think it's very good. Like I see you very like every week without fail. I will see.
I hope.
Yeah, no, it's good, and I think it's at least it's manageable. You can keep up with that momentum, and that posting cadence is very important. I think. And
I think it's important. Yeah.
so you post on like multiple platforms, right? Which is your favorite platform to create for? And how do you approach optimizing your content for different platforms and formats like YouTube or Instagram and TikTok?
Favorite platform, YouTube lah.
Yeah. Okay, my favorite too.
Yay! I think I made YouTube as the main space that I create videos, and then as other creators, I guess they all know the word which is repurpose. So from that YouTube videos, I will actually repurpose either on Instagram, or TikTok, or even LinkedIn. So I kind of like repurpose in such a way that if I don't repurpose the snippets of the video, I will repurpose it in carousel format for Instagram, or like a post on LinkedIn, or a blog post on Medium. So really, at least now I just focus on one platform. Previously, I had to like think like, okay, what should I post on Instagram? What should I post on TikTok? What should I post on YouTube? And that is a lot of things, a lot of brain power to use. So that's why I use just YouTube as the main platform, and I will disperse the other type of content into the other platforms. Yeah, but now I think I'm very active on YouTube and Medium.
I used to do a lot on TikTok, but I think now it's actually pretty tough to grow on. Like the numbers when I post a video,
not so high, right?
Yes, the view count is not so high. Yeah. It's harder to get followers.
I think TikTok now, they focus more on the affiliates, TikTok shop.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, but I think I'm very, I like long form more. Because I think I'm a very like, I need context sort of thing, and I like to storytell and all that. And I cannot storytell in 30 seconds.
Yeah.
It's very tough, and I want to build a relationship with my audience, right? I can't do it in 30 seconds. I don't know how, like some of the, like our TikTok friends, right? I look at them, I'm like, oh, you guys are amazing. Because I just can't do that. So I feel like I have stopped posting very actively on TikTok because, doing that stresses me out. And
right.
Then I felt like at a point of time last year, I spread myself too thin because I'm like, I need to post on this, I need to post on this, I need to post on this. And for Instagram and YouTube Shorts and TikTok, there's the safe zones where like certain words have to be in that certain area. And then I just had to re-edit this. And too stressful. So I was like, forget it. I'm going to do LinkedIn, YouTube, and Instagram. That's it. I felt a lot less stress in that sense. Lesser work to do and more pinpoint, more focus. Because honestly, marketing takes so long.
To record a YouTube videos already takes quite a lot. I mean, both of us, our weakness in that sense is writing, right?
Yes.
To write a YouTube script already takes a lot of our time. how about like the other stuff like YouTube? I mean like Instagram and LinkedIn and stuff like that. So it's really, I guess, I think my word of the year for this year is intentional. I just want to be intentional to the different platforms that I'm in. So when I'm actually intentional on one platform, which is actually YouTube, it's easier for me to know where I want to go next, like whether it's Instagram. Instagram, a lot of my clients still come from there, especially when it comes to the YouTube program that I have, still comes from there, and LinkedIn as well. So usually it only evolves around here. Yeah, but for Medium is more for like the community, knowing the community that they have there is really pretty strong, and also to practice my writing. Yeah, so the sole reason I'm in Medium is just to practice my writing.
Yeah. I get you. Writing is the
Yeah.
tough one. I really have to sit there and like,
Sometimes just stare, right? And it just
just like,
can you come out?
yeah. But I have so my the person I met on find the others, right,
yeah.
that community, and she writes, so she writes on Substack actually.
Substack.
Yeah, and I was telling her these problems, and she was like, you should do slow burns and not heavy lifts. So heavy lifts is what we mean by like, you stare at a blank page, you do from the start all the way to the end, and you finish everything. Slow burn is more like, I have an idea, I write it down first, skeleton it, yeah. And then next week you come back to it, then you slowly write this point, that sort of thing. I find it tough. I find it tough. I feel like, then I have to multitask even more.
Oh my god, okay, we are the same.
Yeah.
I have to like from A to Z, I have to like, okay, it's done, I'm done, and I can just do my own things. But if I were to do skeleton, idea, put first, skeleton points, I'll be very stressed.
I think it works for ideas.
Okay.
Like, just ideas.
Just
but
ideas.
if you ask me to dive into it a little bit, write this, write that, I cannot.
Yeah,
I'm just
yeah.
like,
Yeah, I try. I know my partner, my TFS co-founder, she can do that. She can like do skeleton, she write a bit, and then tomorrow she come back again. Wow, I cannot. I must I must like really sit down. Today is my writing day. I will sit down and finish off whatever I need to finish off.
Yeah, correct.
Yeah.
Correct. There are days that are just editing days. There are days that are just writing days.
Yeah, true. I think that's also part of the process that I have, which I didn't have back then, and that could actually lead to the burnout because I didn't have that process. What I did was I script on the day, I record, I edit, I schedule on the same day. So you imagine how tiring my brain is, and every week I'll be like thinking, okay, what videos I should make. It's like I research on the same day, write on the same day, everything all the same day. So that's why I think the burnout, it leads to the burnout lah.
Wow, that's a lot.
Yeah, I don't know why I do that to myself, but lesson learned. I don't do it now. I now make sure that I have days just on writing, and I have days just on filming, editing, research, and stuff like that.
Yeah, I film one day, I'm
Tired.
it's like a 20-minute talking head. I'm tired after that, I'm like, wow, but you do I'm like, oh my goodness.
Yeah. That's why I think that was why it led to the burnout lah, because it used too much of my brain power on that day, that even though the week feels like a long many days, right? But then when it comes to the day that I need to do everything for the videos, it feels like, okay, what else should I create? And then that's when you get block, you get creative block, you don't know what to do. And then after that, just don't do anything lah. Yeah.
Do you have like a content calendar or content plan?
I didn't
have
that
last time.
Now I have.
Yeah.
Now I'm good already.
So I guess we can explain a bit. A content calendar is just making, I guess you're a planner, right?
Yes.
I'm also a planner.
Yes.
So I feel the most comfortable when I have like 2 or 3 episodes planned in advance.
Yep.
I have never reached that stage for my YouTube videos. I've done like maybe 2. I've gone up to 2 videos in advance, which means I have 1 extra one to post the next week. But yeah, if I get to the point where I have 3 or 4 for buffer, I will be very happy. But I'm nowhere there yet.
You can.
Yeah. So I'm really trying hard to do that. But yeah, essentially, I have like a whole list of ideas of
Yeah.
like what I want to do. And then because for my YouTube video or my YouTube channel, I have 3 different buckets of
Yep.
like, one bucket is more on self-development. One is supposed to be on like 30-day experiments, which I have not kickstarted yet. Another one is more on like creative life
Yeah.
and like moving from 9 to 5 to freelancer. And then I guess now the 4th pillar is like the podcast. Yeah. So that's how I've been trying to plan things. And like, yeah, I think the toughest bit is still the writing.
Yes.
It's still the filming the B-roll sometimes.
Yeah.
It's so time consuming. I put sometimes 5 hours and I'm not even done. It's crazy. Yeah, but it's I think all in all it's still quite fun for me. When I see the end product, when I finish editing, I'm just like, wow, I'm so happy. Sometimes it's a bit narcissistic, but I'll go back and look at my videos.
Yeah.
Like,
that's a good job.
yeah,
Pat yourself.
correct. I mean, there's even a video that I added a fart noise. I was so happy about it because and I sure
It gives the more oomph to that video, right?
But only I know that there's a fart sound in it. The rest are just like, next point then. But it's like these kind of small things that I'm like, okay
yeah.
Sound design makes me very happy. Sometimes I can envision my like what I want to put as B-roll also, and sometimes now when I'm scripting, I actually write that B-roll out. And then I pull out that B-roll and I put it under when I'm organizing my B-roll what I want to take. So when I'm shooting, I don't have to think so much.
Yes. I think that really helps because you kind of like film with edit in mind, right? Because when you already have the script with all the B-rolls that you want, so when during the editing, you don't have to think like what are the B-rolls that I need to create.
Correct.
Yeah, so it really helps.
Yeah, what did you say yesterday during your YouTube live? If you fail to plan,
you plan to fail. Yeah, I learned my mistakes. No, don't go back to that situation where after that you get burnt out. Yeah. It's very important to have that the batch create thingy. Yeah, I think for context, batch create is to, like when you mentioned earlier on, to have like a buffer videos for the next week, so that at least if something life happens, right? Everyday life happens. If something happens, at least you have one video that is already ready for you to publish, and then you don't be so hard on yourself. Then you won't be like, I should have video it last week. I should have. The no more should have now. Yeah.
I think so.
But really, it's the different process is depends on different people. Like for us, we take a lot of time on writing, but others may actually take a lot of time on filming or editing. So it really depends on the number of hours each processes that creators wants to be comfortable with lah.
Yeah. Okay. So let's go into a bit of gear, which I like. I love talking about. So
okay,
as we all know, I guess in today's digital landscape, right? Video
I love the gears.
and audio quality are very crucial for engaging content. So what equipment, tools, or software do you use to ensure your videos have a professional look and sound?
Wow. Okay. For me, because I'm a video profession already, right? So I am an advocate of using what you already have, because I don't want them to invest on things that they may not use in future. If they are using phone right now, just use your phone first until you are comfortable and until you know that you want to upgrade. Because there's really no point of you upgrading to a camera and then you don't know how to function it. After that you don't record videos, because it's really about consistency, right? So if you buy a video camera, let's say, to film your YouTube videos, but at the long run you may feel that, okay, I don't want to record videos, and it will be a waste of money. So use what your phone is, but I always emphasize on the audio. So if they don't have any audio or any microphone, invest on that microphone first. Whether it's, now they have all in the market, the wireless for phone, right? It's fantastic. Get that one. Or if still less of a budget, then just get the boom mic.
Yes.
I think that's good enough as well. But always, for me, I always emphasize on the audio, because if audience watch your videos and your audio is crap, they will just swipe off and they don't watch your videos anymore. Yeah,
they can sit through a bad video, but it will not sit through bad audio.
Yes.
So the first thing to invest into is a
microphone.
good mic.
Yes.
I think the second thing to invest in is
Lights, yes. If you cannot invest on these studio lights, are very very nice. If only you can see later, you let them see. Yeah, you can invest on those LED light that's available. There is Ulanzi brand. It's also quite affordable. It's really very good quality in terms of if you want to spice up your lighting on your videos. If not, if you feel that it's still of a budget constraint, use the natural light. I think it's the
Window
best.
light.
Yes, window light. Just the best, free of charge. God don't charge you also, so make full use of that light. But then, if your house is like mine, my house is quite dark because I have like trees, big trees in front of my house. So definitely need the artificial light, which is the LED. Just invest on the cheaper ones. Like I think you can get less than $100. Yeah.
I heard this tip last time. They say, oh, just use your windows.
Yeah.
Go and buy a shower, those translucent
Yeah,
shower
so it's
curtains.
not too
Yeah, then it looks like it's like a soft box.
Yes, softbox. Yes.
Yeah. I started off with using just window light.
Yeah,
Also, I
yeah.
would sit in the beanbag at the corner.
Yeah.
And I would just use it lor. But
Yeah.
I still prefer the look of
Artificial light.
yeah,
Because
yeah.
it's consistent.
It's controlled, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So I have a lot of fun like playing around with it also. But sometimes I feel like my lighting is not very consistent.
Okay lah.
You know, we spoke about you have the Freelancers Academy and also you have your own YouTube mentoring program, right? And I think nowadays, building an engaged audience is very important for content creators. So what strategies have you found effective in growing and nurturing your community? And I guess, do you leverage that community to for the success of PeachyPixx?
Yeah, I think community is a huge word or a huge space ever since COVID, I think. Because everybody is alone at home, right? Or stuck at home, and then they need to find some kind of like community to support each other. So in terms of the success of PeachyPixx business, I do have like a Telegram group where we all talk about YouTube on its own. So it's really more of all these business owners who wants to also grow on YouTube as well. So I give them like tips and I give them like updates, like what the recent update we had earlier on yesterday from YouTube. So basically this community also give me some ideas on what kind of videos they want to see from my channel and what kind of videos I want to also see from their channel. So it's kind of like give me some it's like a content creation idea as well when you have this kind of community, because they know you, they want to hear from you as well. But of course I also get from the public. So from the public in terms of like Facebook group, I go inside the Facebook group, I go inside sometimes I open up questions inside my Instagram stories to get ideas on what kind of videos they want to look out for. But definitely the bulk of my content creation right now is from the community that I built from either email lists, email subscribers, or the community in the Telegram. Yeah, I think it's very important, this community.
I'm trying to learn how to grow my community also, because I do see the value and like I just
But
see
it's a long
the value.
process.
Yeah,
It's a long process.
I see the value in the connection. Like even just now you met our previous guest
Yeah.
also, right? And I think there are things that everyone can learn from each other, even in various different areas, right? And I just think having that connection, if you're kind of going towards the same goal, if you're feeling the same way, like even your Freelancers Academy, for example, like it's helpful. And again, it goes back to the point we're talking about. Important to have that community, that supportive environment, and like just even bouncing off ideas. I think it helps.
I think also community kind of like cut short the journey. You can just ask questions inside that group to you don't have to go into Google. I mean, Google is great, but if you can get the answers faster through your community, why use Google, right? Because when you go into Google, you can go into a rabbit hole. I'm telling you. And then at the end of the day, you don't get the answers that you want.
Yeah, that's
You get some of the answers.
yeah, because there's so much information.
So much
out there,
information, yeah.
right?
And it can go A, then after that you find the A, and then you can go B.
Yeah.
But if you, like for example, my the Freelancers Academy community, right? They can just ask anything in the WhatsApp, in the Telegram group, and I'm sure any of us will actually answer, not just me or AJ, my partner, any of us, because we all in the business, we have our own struggles. I think before we start recording, we did mention entrepreneurs, we have our own similar struggles that we have, similar problems. There will always be somebody who have been through what you have been through. So like for example, just a few minutes ago before I came in, one of the member actually asked about how to manage the finance, how to do contracts and invoice, because at this point of time she's doing manual. So how can she automate? So if she's actually going to go into Google, she will find a lot of platforms which can automate the invoice and the contracts. But because she asked me, I can just give a few, and then she go and look through what she wants, and then just pick and choose, and it's cut short by a lot of time of her researching that different kind of platforms. So I guess really that community is really kind of like help you ease your journey instead of going around the circles.
So
Yes.
again, I still have not have a name for this activity, but so far it's called a depth quest.
Wow.
Because we're going to ask you a deep question.
Oh no. Okay.
About
I'm not prepared for this, It was not in the list that you said.
exactly. Okay, so this Jenga deck, wow, this Jenga building, right? Each block has a number corresponding to it, and that number will correspond to a question I have prepared.
Okay. How to
for
see the
you.
number?
So pick a random block.
Oh, okay.
Yes. People always go for the center block.
Yeah, so clever. Okay.
I'm very I will go for the side block. I always go for the side block where and the thing will fall apart when I'm playing the game lah.
Okay, this one. I need to take out?
Okay, you want me to okay.
No, it's okay.
Okay. What is your biggest fear and how has it influenced your life choices?
Wow, my biggest fear actually swimming.
Really?
Really, I cannot swim.
Why? Oh, why? But how did this? Why are you scared of the water?
I think it happened during secondary school. So I had a trip to St. John, I think. So we had the swimming thingy, and then I half drowned in that sense. So that kind of like trigger the fear. So the biggest fear is actually swimming, but I somehow already overcome it.
Okay.
I already learned how to swim, but only in the 1 meter pool. At least I went down. I took like 10 minutes just to put my legs in the pool. But yeah, I know it's only like 1.2, which is actually just here, right? Here. But it's so scary. Even though it's a swimming pool, it's so scary. The water is so scary that I took 10 minutes just to put my legs in the swimming pool. So yeah, I'm still learning how to float. And when I actually learn how to swim, I feel that I've already conquered whatever fear that I have running a business, whether it's meeting clients, whether it's trying out new things. For example, YouTube, let's say. When I first started, it's really making me I think back like how did I actually overcome that fear of swimming, that if I can do that, I can do anything. Yeah. Yes.
Yeah, it should be. Those babies nowadays have the
They just
float. They have the float around the head. Then
but I still can float. I don't know how to float.
it's okay. Slowly,
Okay.
slowly but surely. Like you float when you relax.
Okay. Yeah, maybe I haven't relaxed yet.
Yeah. So you need to be relaxed. So your hands sweat already when you think of it.
Yeah.
Okay, final thoughts. Is there any advice you would like to share with our listeners, especially those who want to start creating content?
On any platform or on YouTube?
Anything up to you. If you
Okay.
even have advice on which platform should they go on first, or they should just start on because it's more worth it.
Okay. I think one advice I can give is to not be afraid of the outcome. Like I know when it comes to creating content, I mean, especially on video content, I know when you start creating videos, when you look back at how you sound, how you look, you always have that critics of yourself. So I would actually advise to record maybe videos with your friends first. Be comfortable in your own skin, and then move into more advanced in that sense. But I would say that just start, because the people behind the camera wants to listen to your message, wants to listen to what you have to say, because I think if in local context, we are very entertainment space, right? We I think we kind of like grew up in that space, the entertainment. But when it comes to educators, the west side, I think, really wins. They really go all out in terms of education. Your audience wants to hear what you have to say, like, because you definitely have a vast knowledge of your niche, your business, right? I mean, I don't know things that you know. You don't know things that I know. Something like that. So there is always room for a space for everybody, especially in YouTube, because I know a lot of people think that YouTube is intimidating, and now that with the lower requirements, I think everybody can be on YouTube. Yeah, so that I think it's really more of like, don't be afraid and don't be so hard on yourself if you don't succeed the first time. I mean, having said that, if you do intend to go into YouTube, be consistent with it. Yeah, I think that's really important.
Yeah, I agree. I think nowadays we are very exposed to a lot of instant gratification.
Yes.
So like even with the growth of TikTok, sometimes it's like, wow, you see
yeah,
how much views you get and you see how much likes you get. And if you compare it to like YouTube, for example,
it's
then
different.
like it's just the visibility and all that is just not as much.
Yep.
But I personally feel, yeah, with YouTube, and now even more so because there's shorts in there also now, right? So you can do both shorts and you can do the long form.
Yeah.
And yeah, I do exactly what you do also in terms of like repurposing also. So I think it's a nice medium lah in that sense. And honestly, if you think from a creator's perspective, if we wouldn't love it also if you like grow on a platform, but and it's so easy to get to that 1,000, or it's so easy to get to that 100,000, then what's the point? So I think that sustained growth, that the challenge of like continually doing it and slowly growing, I think it's also quite meaningful. It's just that we are all quite impatient. Like I am also I'm very guilty of that. Just,
yes.
I'm just like, faster, go.
Correct.
So it's good. It teaches us to be patient.
Yeah. Correct. I think I totally agree on the topic that you say, instant gratification. We have been kind of like in grind to this instant gratification for a while now, right? With the Instagram, with the TikTok especially. I think that is why I was so frustrated with YouTube, because I grew a lot more on TikTok when I first started. It's really how the algorithm works lah. Yeah, it's really instant gratification. Yeah.
But I think again it's changed, right?
It's
like
changed,
the algorithm
changed.
honestly, even for YouTube, it changes.
Yeah, it changes. Change every time lah.
Yeah. But
even like now, I think.
But I think never mind. We just slowly, consistently grind and grow, and I think like eventually we will get there.
Yeah.
So
I think the most important thing is also what is the ultimate goal of your creating content on that particular platform. If you feel, and also your audience, where is your audience hanging out, right? If your audience is not hanging out on YouTube, then there's really no point of you creating YouTube videos lah, to me personally. If your audience is really more on TikTok and you think that you can actually get your business through TikTok, by all means go ahead and stop, but you have to be consistent on TikTok. You cannot also be, today you post and then next week you never post, or next 2 weeks you never post. Then it's the same thing.
Correct.
Right? It's really you have to be I would say you have to know where you want to go first, and then you see where you want to maneuver.
Yeah, I have a lot of brand clients who prefer me to post on TikTok. Yeah, but I feel like that was I personally feel like that's ship has sailed. Like,
Right.
you know, that was maybe last year or the year before. Yes, you should be posting on TikTok.
Yeah.
Now I feel like you should be posting elsewhere lah.
Yeah,
You know, but I
yeah.
think a lot of people don't quite see the benefit of investing into like a longer form or like YouTube. But I'm just like, okay, never mind. It's client
Yeah.
work. I will respect what the client wants and just do it lah.
Yeah.
But I will suggest lah. I'm like, oh, would you like want to consider a YouTube video? But most of them are like, no, I just want
Because of
TikTok.
the long form videos.
Yeah,
Is
I
it?
mean we're all, especially nowadays, like just short
Short
form
forms,
is
yeah.
just I think what companies think
Yeah.
people prefer, and maybe most people prefer that also. But I feel like we go down this rabbit hole of like dopamine hit again. I just, it's actually not very good for the brain.
Yeah.
So I also just like it's okay. Let me do my long form. Let me do
Yeah.
my YouTube and like figure that out. But yeah, lah, like
Yeah.
you said, it's where your audience lies.
Yeah,
lah.
it's where your audience also lah. Because if you are not on YouTube, it can be on Instagram. But at the end of the day, they are all social media platforms. You see, so you need to have like one main ones, and then you can focus on the others if you want to. But if you are not consistent on one main ones, and then you want to go elsewhere, then you will definitely burn out anytime soon.
Yes.
Especially if you don't have planner like myself. Yeah, that was the biggest mistake, I guess, not to plan out.
But it's okay. We learn.
Yes, we learn.
We learn from that.
Yes.
And now we're definitely better.
yes.
Okay. I guess that comes to the end of our podcast. But
Yay.
I guess for all our listeners out there, where can they find you on the different social media platforms?
Okay, they can subscribe to my YouTube channel at Renee Ismail, ReneeIsmail. Suddenly I forgot my father's name. Or they can, I hang out a lot on Instagram, so they can look up for me at PeachyPixx, PeachyPixx. Yes.
Okay.
These two are my main, I guess, these two are my main platforms, because YouTube, you can't DM, right? So you can actually reach me on Instagram to DM me if you have any questions about videos, you have any questions about YouTube, you can always DM me on Instagram and I can answer there.
Okay. Awesome. Thank you
Yes.
so much.
Thank you so much,
for-
Jamie.
Yeah, I really appreciate you coming here, being here, having like this conversation about content.
Yes.
I think especially with the scene in Singapore, it's difficult to find another educational content creator.
Yeah.
So it's great to know that I can chat with you anytime, and like I think it's very cool that you started like the Freelancer Academy. Like you have all these communities and like your YouTube mentoring course also, right? I love that you started all these communities to like really teach people to like impart your wisdom also, and kind of mixing that into like a business model also. So I think that's really smart lah, in a sense, to mix your passion and also like a money making venture into kind of like the same thing, which I eventually kind of want to move into also. It's just that now I guess I'm still trying to just focus on building that funnel. But yeah, thank you for sharing your experience and like spending time with us also. And I'm sure like all our listeners will like be excited to like, you know, go and check out your YouTube channel and all that. If you want to learn any video hacks or how to grow on YouTube or Instagram, go and check out her webpage. Her YouTube.
Yes,
YouTube.
can. Thank you so much, Jamie, actually, for having me. And finally, we get to meet in person. We have always been liaising online, whether it's Instagram or TikTok or YouTube, right?
Thank you.
I really love you. I love to see your growth.
Oh,
Yeah.
thank you. Yes, slowly but surely.
Yes, slowly but surely, yes. All right, thank you.
Thank you.